Well, let's get started. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. My name is Molly. I'm on the inside sales team here at RSP. We also have Hannah, who's head of marketing here. She's playing air traffic controller and answering any questions in the chat that you put in there, but always feel free to, click that unmute button and ask any questions as we're going along. I'll go ahead and start with a little bit of information about RSP and just let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. So we've been around for about 28 years in business. We have over 5,000 five-star reviews across the different review platforms. So definitely take a look at your favorite one, see what they have to say about us. We'll be mainly talking about our target farming program today. It is patented, so nobody's quite doing it the same way we are. And it's definitely our our flagship product. It's what most people are talking about when they talk about RSP and what we're mainly known for. We do have some other postcard products on our website and other things for you to check out, but this is the one that we bring to market most. The two things that kind of set us aside from other programs like this is the data we provide. We take information from MLS, from tax roll information, from any public resource we can really get our hands on to make sure we're finding a good area for you to target, as well as providing good insights for your potential clients. With that, we also automate a lot of the process. We know consistency is one of the hardest things when you're farming. So as much as we can do for you to make it easy, we want to handle. And we definitely see a higher ROI with that. Then the other part we always like to talk about is our concierge level of service. We assign a marketing assistant to you who handles all those details. So for our agent's point, it's more of an approval process than a design process in dealing with all the details that go along with a campaign like this. With that, we do offer an exclusive territory. So when you choose a neighborhood, there will be nobody else farming in that neighborhood with RSP and our target farming program. We want to make sure we reserve that for you alone. And then we already talked a little bit about our smart targeting using the tax roll and MLS data to target the most qualified prospects for you, really making sure we get you in an area that works best for you. Some systems, they take a whole zip code or a whole mail route or things like that. We break it down into neighborhood level and sometimes even smaller to street level to find those pockets that are really producing. Then that concierge design and delivery. With that, we handle the design, print, mail. It all comes directly from our office to your potential clients without much from you guys other than approvals and design ideas, things like that. We also scrub all the lists for you. So we scrub out vacant properties, we scrub out LLCs, we scrub out trusts. And if you want to leave trusts or LLCs, then we're happy to do that. We also scrub out people on the do not mail list. And we scrub out people who bought their home within the past year, and we can go up to 5 years, whatever you would prefer for your area. Let me show you an example of what we're sending out. So it is 8.5 by 11. It's printed on 110-pound paper. So it's got that it's a nice product. You can see it's got a little bit of a shine. Maybe you can see, there we go. It's got a little bit of a shine to it too. So it looks very nice. And then it folds here where you see it say Kingsview Market Update. So it can fit into mailboxes. So when they take it out of their mailbox, this is what they see here. We have like 1,000 different background pictures to choose from. But if there's something local, like a neighborhood monument or a sign or a park or something you want to put there, we're happy to accommodate that. And then of course your headshot. I do like to point out, we always use the first name, last name of the individual we're mailing to, along with the address. We want them to know that this is a custom item specifically for them. So we want to avoid things like homeowner or current resident or things like that. We want to make sure we get that information in there. Here is the back of what they see when they pull it out of their mailbox. We write this paragraph for you, but of course, if there's anything you want to include as far as like if you're farming your own neighborhood, you want to make sure you say, hey neighbors, I'm here too. Or if you have an upcoming listing in the area, anything like that, we're happy to put in there for you. Just let us know. And then, of course, all your contact information. If you have any social media handles or QR codes of your own, anything like that, we're happy to include as well. Now this map, I'm going to come back to this map. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what the inside looks like. Here's all the recent sales of the area with the free market analysis. We do list price, sold price, price differential, days on market, really providing some good information for anybody who is who's thinking about selling their homes. We know nobody makes that decision overnight unless unless their house is haunted. So as they're thinking about that, seeing this and knowing what the market looks like is very valuable for them. I do also appreciate that we put the neighborhood name here. My area is pretty subdivided and I'm rather new, so that's very helpful for my area. And we can leave it off if your area is not the same. And down here, we have space for 3 featured properties. By default, we'll use your last 3 MLS events, but we're happy to do a lot of different things here. We can use anything of yours or anything from your agency. We can put this map down there or a combination where we just put one property in the map. I also heard an agent recently is putting coupons for a local restaurant down here, and I really liked that. And then up here, to this map, the little blue house you see in the center is always the house we're mailing to. So they should recognize where they are in the street and their neighborhood and what that looks like. Now, if they scan this QR code or go to the website myhomes.com and enter the specific code for their house, we skip trace their information for you and we provide you with their name, their phone number, their email address, as well as their physical address, of course, so you can follow up as you see fit. With that, we also put them on what we call our fast track follow-up. So we send them a postcard a week for the next 6 weeks on your behalf with your branding, your information, your headshot, things like that. They're all real estate themed. There's about 10 different ones to choose from, and we just pick which ones go out on your campaign. Here's the website that the QR code takes them to. And here we have, it's a computer algorithm like you would see on Zillow or anything like that. We provide a best estimate and a range because, of course, we're going to give them enough information for them to be interested, but we don't want to give them too much information because we really want them to call you up. Here's the Google Street View. And if they click any of these buttons and fill out the information for a complimentary property assessment, we'll get that right over to you. So, so you have that information because they're definitely a high intent individual then. Here's where your headshot will go, right there where Angela Agents is. She's broken right now, I guess. And here is all of your contact information. Down here at the bottom, we spell it out. We say, hey, this is generated by a computer algorithm. If you really want to know what your house is worth, you really need to call the agent. Now, is there any questions about what we send out or what this looks like? Feel free to take yourself off mute if there is. All right, I'll go ahead and continue then. So we talked a little bit about the concierge design and delivery and the consistent mailings. With our program, we mail out every 60 days as a standard. We can do 30 and we can do 45, but we found 60 days seems to be a really good cadence for most areas. Just let us know if you think something else would work better for your area. And we do have a 6 mailing commitment. So if we stick with the 60 days, it's about a year commitment when you sign up with the target farming. We talked about the real-time lead capture with the home value estimate, QR code, and the website with the little code specifically for their house. And we also talked about that fast track follow-up where we send them a postcard a week for the next 6 weeks after they scan that QR code or go to the website. Okay, this is one that, we always want to go over, who farming is right for. Farming is definitely a long-term investment. Most of our agents see their first listing between the fourth and the eighth mailing. That's where we really see an uptick of activity and the sweet spot. A lot of agents see their first listing on their first, second, third, but the fourth to the eighth with our years and years of data, that's definitely where we see that uptick of activity. Consistency is key and follow-up is always awesome with, all marketing. And then we definitely like agents who value that concierge level of service. We really do handle a lot of those details for you to make the process easy. So farming is not for agents who expect immediate results overnight. And with a lot of lead generation sources, we hear about how you get like a list of names and you're making a lot of calls and figuring out which ones are actually interested in buying and selling their homes. Um, we have a different sort of lead. The quantity is definitely smaller than a couple hundred where you're going to be dialing all the time. These are going to be people who are reaching out to you, and they're going to be those listing inquiry leads that most people are really looking for. And consistency, of course, and farming is definitely an investment. So the next is pricing. We do have a $39 monthly fee that happens every month, whether we're mailing or not, which covers your exclusivity, your marketing assistant, all the data we're pulling, all of the websites for each of those different homes we're mailing to, all the things that are happening behind the scenes that you don't really have to worry about is covered in that $39. And then each report is $1.24. So we have that 300 report minimum, which comes to about $372 if on those mailing months plus the $39 monthly fee. Now, I'd love to show you guys some areas and how our data works. You're more than welcome to pull up our website, rspusa.com, and follow along with me and look at some areas near you. I'm going to go ahead and use a zip code I used to live in Phoenix to explore some exclusive areas, see what's going on there. I do recommend that you identify yourself just because we can take that into consideration when we're recommending areas where you've had success before and things like that. But for me, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pick an agency. So if you can't find yourself, feel free to just choose your agency. So I'm going to look at single family homes within this zip code. And I think I'm going to open up the price range a little bit. We'll keep it at 450, but maybe 1.2 for the upper end. I'm going to use my old address in Phoenix. And I'm going to go ahead and click generate top 50 farm areas. So with this, we've just kind of told the computer algorithm what we're looking for and what works best for us, and it's found 50 areas near there that could be valuable. So as you can see, everything has a point system. Let's take a look at what those points mean and why we like the areas that we do. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this. Whoop, too far. Okay, so, I did that wrong. Here we go. I'm going to try that again. So, as you can see, there's no surprises here. We're not keeping anything secret. This is exactly why we like the areas that we do. So this one has a turnover rate of 6.2% over 5 years. The average of the area is 3%. So a higher rate suggests there are more listings to come. With an average price of 1.1 million, this area falls within the upper thirds of that price range I put in place on the last page. So it got some points for that. We also analyze if there's a dominant agent in the area And if somebody has 30% or more of the listings, we take away points because that's an uphill battle. We can find you areas that are that do not have a dominant agent and have room for you to become the dominant agent. This one only has 26 units. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad area. We just have to take that into consideration as we look at our percentages and turn rates and things like that, that we have a smaller sampling size. Then agency market share, we take that into consideration. And if you have identified yourself, we also take into consideration where you've had recent listings and sales. That's the one thing missing from this list. And then that distance from that address you put in, we know it's easier to work areas that are closer to where you either live or work. Let me reset this so we can get it back to a size we can look at. So here's a lot of good areas. As you can see, some of the areas are smaller, some of them 7, and then some of them have, 653. But we have all the information here. There's also another way. If you have an area in mind or you want to stick closer to home, we can always pull it up specifically by zip code. I'm going to go ahead and pull up 85044 and take a look at the areas within that. So as you can see, they found 41 areas within the zip code 85044 that fit within these parameters that I had going up here. In this view, I really like this view because not only does it give you the 1-year turnover rate or the 5-year turnover rate, it also gives you the 1 year. So you can really see what's going on with the area. You can click in and see the details and see who was we talk about how if they have 30% or more of the listings, we take them out of the top 50 or we take away points as we assign points. I like to click in here and see who has the last couple of sales. I think that's valuable information always to know before you pick a farm area. If somebody is an emerging agent or, getting a lot of traction, we want to know that before we pick a farm area. So that is looking good. I'm not seeing anything in there. Perfect, perfect. Now, I'm happy to go through more and look at any farm areas with any of you. You guys are more than welcome to schedule a consultation with me or one of the other salespeople here at RSP. There's some other interesting resources here. There's always an ROI calculator to play with, as well as more interesting resources down here. And you can access it all from our website. Is there any questions? Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you guys all being here today and hanging out with me. You're always welcome to call the number or book a one-on-one consultation. Thanks so much.